Well, U3A, or University of the Third Age, is an international movement focused on retired and semi-retired people. It includes a complete cross-section of society, of course, but including professionals such as engineers and scientists and politicians. So it represents a fantastic resource for trying to tackle the big issues of climate change.
We wanted to raise people's awareness about climate change, but it's such a huge task, such an all-encompassing subject that we didn't know where to start really, and it was a bit daunted, so we decided that even if we could change one person's thinking in the smallest of ways, then that would be a positive step forward. So we thought that if we could provide good quality information, and then it would help people make their own choices about how to live more sustainably.
My spiritual and religious pathway actually goes along with living as lightly on the earth as possible. So it was certainly something that resonated with me. I hope to learn things, which I have, and also to share ideas with other people and hopefully give them some ideas on how we can live more sustainably and more lightly on the planet.
We called an initial meeting of members of the Ruthin U3A who thought they would be interested in the group, and we discussed the range of topics that we could cover could be covered by the group, and there was a lot of support, and we decided to call it the Sustainable Living Group rather than the Climate Change Group, for example, because sustainable living incorporates such a wide range of issues that were of concern to our members.
We started by having monthly meetings with outside speakers, and we had a range of speakers talking about plastics, recycling, sustainable agriculture and diet, and an introduction to climate change. And then we'd got a wonderful selection of activities for site visits for the summer, but unfortunately the pandemic got in the way. We've continued contact with the group with monthly newsletters, giving local information and suggested reading on sort of more diverse matters. And just recently we've started up with outside speakers on an online, well, we've used Zoom members, and that's been very successful.
It's doing the small things because they really matter. So having a vegetable box, not having plastic bags when I get my supermarket delivery, using the milkman because he has glass bottles, so that's cutting down on things like that.
So the box growers that are supplying us, and it's an amazing process. The permaculture gardening is definitely a way forward. It tackles a lot of issues that need to be addressed. One, the quality of soil, it improves that. So we're doing a lot more composting, a lot more than we've ever done. I think I've got 5 compost bins on the go now. And
they've all got names.
Yeah, we've named them all.
Repair cafe in Ruthin. If my husband or I can't repair something, it'd be really good to be able to take it there and get it repaired. And what strikes me is these sort of things were the things that we were doing when we were kids.
When you belong to a gardening group and you realise just how much you can grow very easily without the use of any of these things, and and you're much more aware of seasonal vegetables and that sort of thing, it does become quite an eye-opener when you realise just how much other people are just so used to buying everything at the supermarket out of season.
I think the worst for this, they sort of push things like plastic bags and plastic straws, and people give up a straw or a bag and think they've done their bit. But I think we've got to the stage now it needs a more dramatic change. People need to do things that are uncomfortable for them, like give up driving quite a bit, eat less meat, not go on flying on holidays. So it's things that will change people's lives, and I think that's the stage we've got to now, to actually do something which is different in your lifestyle.
to be logical as well. Ideally, people should walk more and cycle more, like we used to when we were young.
I think the top priority for us is having declared a climate emergency in April 2019. That seems a long way off now. We're urgently needing to see actions and plans with significant timescales on them.
You know, a lot of people who were genuinely intending to cycle more when the roads were quiet are just simply too scared by the amount of traffic. And if we're going to really do something about that, then that's where, you know, government needs to take proper action and not just tinker around the edges. It needs to be radical change.
Oh, yeah, and the quicker the better.
Instead of saying it's too difficult, because actually the too difficult thing for me is living with the effects of climate change. It isn't about changing what we do now. That is the less difficult thing to do.
Well, so far so good. We've been running for a year. We've had some excellent meetings and lots of interest from members. And with the continued support from Renew Wales, we hope to organise an interesting programme for future months. But we would like to involve our members a bit more proactively. There's lots of expertise and knowledge within them, within the area of sustainable living. Whilst climate change and biodiversity loss and so on are such massive subjects, it's not all hopeless. The individual can make a difference, and people need to be well informed, and they need to then decide what they're going to do within their own lives, and hopefully influence their friends and families, which is what this group's all about.